This is my 6-month review of the Niche Zero. But before we get into it, I just want to say welcome to Kabin's Coffee Corner. This is designed to help you choose the coffee gear you want to brew with at home. If you please like and subscribe to this video, that would be very useful and help me produce more content. I also have some affiliate links in the description below where I'll make a slight commission at no extra charge to you. Lastly, please follow me on Instagram if you'd like to. That's at Kabin's Coffee Corner, and we'll see you there. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I've owned the Niche Zero for 6 months. I've owned a numerous amount of hand grinders and a few electric grinders down the road, and I want to give you my honest thoughts on whether I think the Niche Zero was worth the money. So I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it cost $735 total for it. So not necessarily the cheapest grinder in the world, but I've heard great things about it. So we're going to get on to a few of the features, and then we're going to get on to whether I think it grind well and whether I think it was worth it, and what I've noticed that I don't like and do like over the past 6 months of owning it. So first off, we're going to start with a few of the features. It's got this little lid here, and the nice thing about it is it won't grind unless you have the lid closed. So regardless of if it's on or off, it'll stop and turn on if you have the lid open or closed. Inside, it's got this little anti-popcorning disc here, which slows down the grind speed a little bit, but ultimately I do like it that way. You got this little, it looks like a coaster, but it just sits there. It's kind of fun that it spins a little bit, and it's been great so far. All this wood has held up great. It's got this nice dosing cup that fits in a 58mm portafilter, and I know you can buy some from other companies that will work with the Niche Zero that'll fit like a 54mm portafilter, like Breville Barista Express here. It's got smooth, it's super smooth on the inside, and it has a little, just flip over into your cup, and it works great. I had a little bit of grounds in there, got a mess, but feels great, looks great, no issues with that. I kind of wish it was black. That's my only beef with that. But that's just more of a preference thing. Nice industrial switch on the side. It's got these little wooden accents for the legs here, and they spin because they're actually just decoration. And there's nice little padded legs on the bottom here, which is nice. One of my favorite features, oops, that was a little annoying, is it has built-in cord storage in the back of it. However, I don't find the cord to be fully long enough for what I want it to be some of the times when I'm trying to plug it in. So I have to think things through on where it's located. But it's really nice to have a cord in the back of it, because typically where I set this up, I cannot drop the cord behind the counter and plug it in down there. It's on a kitchen counter underneath some cabinets, so I have to plug it up into the wall like this. So having a place where I can just create the exact length of the cord so I don't have all of this extra cord sitting on the side, it's a very, very nice feature that I like. Overall, this feels very heavy and very, very durable. Everything has held up well in 6 months of use. I really like this brush that it came with. It was a nice add-on. I use it all the time, and it was nice to have to pay for it. The only issue that I've ever had with this grinder was I've had this bolt come undone while grinding a couple times, and they did include a tool to tighten that down, and it's solved every problem since. Fair warning, I pulled 30 shots, roughly 30 shots in a row at an event with this grinder. So for it to come undone as a result of that, I'm fine with. Any other light home use I haven't had an issue with, and I haven't had an issue since I've tightened it. It was just for that one event. It's been very easy to clean and adjust grind settings. You can adjust the grind setting with one hand, which is a nice feature. One thing I don't like about it is it's a single dose grinder, but it holds a lot of retention on the inside, and I feel like you need to somehow work it out of the way. The best solution that I found is this little thing that you just simply put on top, and you push down, and it pushes air through the grinder and gets rid of that excess grinds. I wish I could find something that didn't look as dumb as this, and I wish I could find a way to store it where it's conveniently close to my grinder, but it looks ugly on my countertop. I don't know if I just need to figure out a way to attach it behind it, or I can just simply slide it out on a string or something like that. We'll see if that comes about later. But I don't like how that was included, and I find that very difficult in here. If you do grind coarse for pour overs, it will spray quite a bit of grounds in here. I heard if you just do the RDT, which is the, I don't know, the little Ross droplet technique, which is a little drop of water in the beans that will remove a lot of the static. I still just personally don't like putting water through my espresso machine, even though it's a little bit, and it's not a big deal because a lot of people do it and a lot of people suggest doing it. This has some conical burrs in it from Mazzer. Conical burrs is like a little cone shape with like a thing, another like circle thing around it, and the beans go between that cone and that circle, and that's what crushes them up and produces a cup. There's also flat burrs, which are two burrs that sit on top of each other, and they're flat, just like the name of it. They kind of produce different profiles for that. But overall, I wasn't that impressed with this grinder. And that's saying a lot because this is a very widely ranged grinder. Like, this was selling out crazy. People were selling this thing for $1,400 on eBay and secondhand used or brand new in the box because of how difficult it was to get this grinder. Like I said, I had to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to order this thing, and it sold out shortly after I ordered at 4 o'clock in the morning for the US deliveries. I wasn't super amazed with the price. The value of it for $735, and I think the reason for that is the Kineu M47 Classic. That was my grinder before purchasing this, and it was a $350 hand grinder. I felt like I was getting just as good of shots out of that $350 hand grinder as I was out of the Niche Zero. And that's kind of a concerning thing because that's half the price that I was spending on the hand grinder than I did on this. However, this is way easier to dial in because you're not hand grinding coffee. So I just feel like I was spending like $300 for a bigger piece of thing with a motor in it is essentially the difference between that and the Kineu. That's my opinion personally. However, like, once you have this thing, I'm never going to go back to using the Kineu, and I actually got rid of it because this is way more convenient to grind coffee for when you just simply flip a switch like that. And especially when I had the opportunity to do a larger event for this. This did well, and there's no way I could have done that on the Kineu. I like that it's single dosing, and I can change the origin and grind settings very, very easily without wasting coffee. Overall, everything about this grinder is great. It was just, I got this grinder, and I pulled some shots with it, and I was like, these are some good shots, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than what I've been doing with the hand grinder, and that was just a letdown with it. And I don't think it's going to be a letdown for everybody who purchases it. I think the demand of this is going to get higher, or like it's going to get less difficult to purchase these things. It's going to be easier to do because of some other grinders out there like the DF Turin, and that's just going to make it easier to purchase these down the road because of the value that you get in that. But overall, I like the aesthetics of it with the wooden accents. I wasn't a super big fan of it. Then I got the Flair 58, and I got the Simonelli Essentials tamping thing, and everything looks so great and matches so well with the black and the wood accents. I hope Niche makes a flat, not Niche, I hope Niche makes a flat black grinder. It would fit in a little bit more with my stuff. That's about the only thing and I think maybe if they included this and somehow made this a part of it so you can get rid of those excess grinds in there so you won't be grinding, so you won't have some retention for your next shot of espresso. Overall, I've been happy with this grinder, but it was a slight letdown again. But I use it every day almost, and it's been great. And I've had no complaints, and the workflow of everything with this thing has been good, and the quality has been good. And overall, I would buy it again because it's so simple to use, it's so easy to use, and just because I like aesthetics. The grind performance is definitely important, but the aesthetics with the flare and all of that stuff is just phenomenal, and I'm very, very happy with that. If you have any questions about the Niche, I think it's less worth the $750, $735 now as newer grinders have released than it was 6 months ago when those grinders haven't came out. But overall, worth the money. Still happy with it, and I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with this grinder if they do choose to buy it. So if you have any questions, if you have this grinder and you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. But remember, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for the comparison between this and the DF Turin grinder, and we're going to compare those two side by side. Thank you so much for watching.